Welcome back to another episode of Shut I'm 30 with me, your host, Carla Ramirez.
And Tony the Realtor.
Hello, welcome back to Orlando, friend.
Hey, friend, we have not talked in days.
We haven't talked in days. You left with all your gay friends and you were like, fuck the little bitch over there. You told me I remind you of a boy and you didn't even call me.
Look, you called me when I was getting ready to work out, and I'm like, I'm going to call you back, and you were telling me about some type of sponsorship for Morgan & Morgan.
Yes, and you're like, gotta go. I'm like, this is huge.
Bitch, and I was getting ready to work out. That gym... girl, I got my...
You said it was Mini Wakanda?
It was Mini Wakanda. Listen, I was in D.C. for the weekend for the Gay Super Bowl, Black Gay Pride. It's also the Black Gay Met Gala as well, where everybody come there like, best fashions child and just put on shows.
So is it gay like only men? We were talking about this yesterday when I was at dinner. I'm like, I don't know. I was like, I think it's just men because I haven't seen any women in your snaps.
So yeah, the women have a different pride. They just recently had Sweet Heat.
Yeah,
in
Sweet
Miami.
Heat is women, right?
Yeah, yeah. So we have our little different things. But here in Florida, though, when we do Pride, we kind of come together. We're still.
Isn't it coming up soon?
It is coming up. Well, it's not Pride. It's called Gay Days, and Gay Days is not a Black people thing, by the way, you guys. So
Isn't that a Disney thing?
It's not. It's not really a Disney thing, but yeah, they kind of like promote under Disney.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah. They get together and do a whole bunch of cool
Well, you
parties
have
and
fun?
stuff. I did. I spent a lot of money, motherfucker.
Ooh, you rich.
Bitch, listen, next year I'm going to switch up some things. My friends that I partied with this year, the motherfuckers are getting old. And there's certain things that
They're going to cuss you out.
No, they are. Like, Carlos is about to turn 40. Lorenzo's like 37. And, nigga, I'm 31. So it's still things, I got some turn up in me. I want to pop bottles on bitches and stuff like that. And, and go from club to club. And them motherfuckers want to take a nap. Like,
I'll be right there. Carlos, I'm with you. I want to take a nap right along with y'all. I don't want to club to club.
Yeah, and that motherfucker, only thing he wanted to do was just be up on the boys. And I just wanted to turn up.
Did you get any boyfriends?
No, I did. Actually, I did not, Carla.
Not one?
The theme for me this week has been me being gaily awkward, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah, apparently I don't flirt with gay guys like I'm supposed to. Have a mean look on my face.
Oh, we did talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do things differently than the rest of them. But I love them, child. I do.
Oh, we know you love them, but you want a boyfriend at one point in time.
I'm very selective about the people I flirt with. I don't want to give people the wrong impression, the wrong idea.
I like giving people the wrong idea.
Huh?
If it gets me a drink.
See, no. I had this lace shirt on Sunday when we were out drinking, and I got a lot of compliments on it. And this one guy came up to me, and he was like, "Nice shirt," and then he like rubbed on my nipple. So I immediately checked. And I was like, "Dude, you don't have to compliment. You don't have to touch me to compliment me." So Carlos and everybody looked at me like, "Are you okay?"
Was it cute?
Hell no, bitch. He had white shit coming out his motherfucking
mouth.
mouth.
Oh, my God.
Like,
gross.
That's what it was.
He deserves to get checked.
I was like, bitch, of course I'm going to check him. I don't want him motherfucking touching me. It's not a whole thing about me being, accepting.
He probably got bum bumps on his finger or something.
Bitch, right. Come rubbing on my damn nipple.
It was. You had them all out all weekend. I did see that.
Yeah, bitch. I did. Borderline got him out tonight.
I saw that. I was like, oh, so he's coming out with the whole chest out. Sure, no problem.
I wore this to the strip club last night, bitch.
Wait, you went to the strip club?
Yeah.
Like a woman's strip club?
No. Well, it's a regular strip club, but the gays rented out
over
for this weekend, and yeah, they had some women there that were stripping as well.
Oh,
it was expensive, but it was
you had a good
dope
time?
experience. I only stayed for an hour and a half because Lorenzo was kind of tired.
Only an hour and a half? What is wrong with you? Are you on cocaine?
What do you mean?
Hour and a half is a long time.
Bitch, really? When you pay $20, I want to get my whole experience. I want to be there at least 2.5 hours.
30 minutes, I'm done.
Okay,
that's
but just because you don't pay for nothing. That's why. When you actually spend money to do this shit, you want to actually get your money.
I pay for some stuff.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, let's go into our shit you should know this week. And it's about a Georgia city councilman that posted a post about him being on needing food stamps and like basically being broke. His name is Khalid Kamal. And he posted a picture on Facebook showing his EBT card on one hand and then the disconnect notice for his light bill on the other hand. He started telling people that he only makes $13,000 a year. And a bunch of people already assumed that councilmen and people that work, like politicians, they make like $50,000, $60,000. And he's like, yeah, that's definitely not the case. So he's letting people know and be aware of the fact that, he has to work several part-time jobs on the side. He drives Lyft and Uber to supplement his income and his family. So I didn't know it was $13,000.
That's how much money? What? He's the councilman?
Yes, and it's a full-time job. So he literally works like 40 to 60 hours a week. He can't just tell people like, I'm sorry, today I don't feel like working. I got to work another job. It's a full-time job making $13,000 a year. So what basically it comes down to is the fact that these jobs have these like outrageously low costs, and that way it keeps the wealthy people from taking those jobs because they don't need the money or they already have a high-paying salary in a different job, and that's then who is representing the working class, but they don't know what we're going through because they're not experiencing it,
Right.
So he's like, I want to work for the people, for the working class. I want to do a change for you guys. But at the same time, I'm sitting here drowning in debt and in bills that I can't pay, all because he wants to try to help his community.
That's that's dope. I don't know what's the salary. I didn't know what the salary was of a city councilman person.
I assumed like they said 50, 60,000.
I thought that too. That's why I just recently assumed. But this is a black guy, and he's actually attractive as well. And
I think he's married. Sorry.
I mean, that's fine. I still can compliment him on the way he looks. But no, seriously, that's good. I didn't hear that story.
Yeah, so I saw that, and I just wanted us to be aware of, again, when we do certain votes, because there was a senator trying to get them to raise their wage. I believe it was to $22,000, and it didn't go through. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, because of who is around them and the other senators and the governors and people that are actually approving this and the people in Congress, we need to know who we're voting in. So then other people that are here for our community, like councilmen, can do something for us, and they truly understand what it is to be a working person, and they can set laws that affect everyone else instead of just affecting the wealthy.
What we're starting to do, we're starting to see a lot of diversity and stuff like that in Congress, especially after Donald Trump was elected. I know a lot of women and everything started running. A lot of people of color started to run. So it's great to have diversity because we have a voice for the underserved people
But that voice is hungry right now. He needs them food stamps. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes I also read that people are like, oh, can you sponsor this event, or can you do this, can you do that for us, asking him for money. And he's like, I have no money. Yeah. So it makes him look like an asshole, like, oh, you're a councilman, you're supposed to be off the people. Why aren't you?
Like, don't you have donations and stuff like that that's contributed from other people?
They want his money from him too. They do ask for money for like the community does. They ask the councilmen, they ask the senators, they ask the governors for money from certain things. But his office doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. So where's it going to come from? And they don't realize that it's because he only makes $13,000. So I know what job I'm not going for. I have no need to be a councilwoman of any type.
You got me rethinking because I told you I was going to be somebody's senator, but shit.
I think senators make a little bit more. Yeah, not much more, though. Because when you think about it, most senators and most people that work in politics, they have a background. They have family, like a wealthy family, because they're usually like their parents, their dads, or their uncles were like already part of the Senate or whatever it is. Yeah. And that's how they get back in. So they got money. Yeah. You know who was another one? What is she? What did she? Alexandria Ocasio, she's something for New York. Might be a councilwoman as well.
I'm still, like I told you, I'm still learning.
She's a what? You can tell me.
Oh, she's a congresswoman.
She's a congresswoman, right? Yeah. She's like, I don't make any money. She was saying she wanted to move to D.C. and she didn't have the money to rent something there because it was so expensive, and she's trying to leave New York and she didn't have any money, so it's the same thing. That. Yes. So she's made it like a big thing. They hate her.
Right.
They hate her in D.C. But she's being open about everything that's going on, and now there's other ones that are speaking up.
So, fun fact, our guest that's here today, she actually ran for City Council, District 5. What was it, 2 years ago or so?
2 years ago.
Yeah. So we have Miss Ericka Dunlap here in the room.
The one and only.
Yes, Miss America 2004.
How you doing?
I thought it was 2003.
2004. I won in 2003, but it's titled 2004.
Oh, just kidding.
We'll get into that later.
Oh, okay.
It's a little weird.
So Miss Ericka Dunlap, she is, like you said, Miss Florida, 2004. And then did you win?
So...
Give her the whole thing, the spiel.
So, in the Miss America system, you win a local competition, which is like Miss UCF, Miss Orlando, Miss Apopka, Miss Daytona, whatever the local is. And then all the local contestants compete for the state competition. And then once one person wins the state, Miss Kansas, Miss Tennessee, Miss Florida, then all of those contestants go to Miss America. You can only compete one time in a lifetime, so you can only be a Miss State one time. So even if you move from Florida and you were Miss Florida, you can't go and compete for Miss Tennessee. So you can only do it once. And then once you go through the process, whoever wins Miss America advances, and you travel the country and you're the representative for the year, and everybody else goes back to their home state and they are whatever they were But so I won Miss City Beautiful.
Hey,
which is
Orlando
City model. I was Miss Orlando too years ago, but I was
How
Miss
long
City.
have you been doing pageants?
I started when I was 6,
Wow.
so it was like my sport. It was my thing.
Yeah.
And I always knew that I wanted to do Miss America, but I didn't really know what that meant exactly. So through the years and through researching and just putting so much effort into it, you figure out all the pieces of the puzzle to put it together. And it was really my mom and I until one day I got this wonderful menagerie of gay boys who were a part of a board who got me together.
Yeah.
I had the
The
grand
gays
old
can do
gal of the
that.
South. I had the best drag queen ever to
Really?
get me prepared.
How old
And
were you at this time?
I was 21. I
Okay.
was 21 when I met them. And from January to June, which is when I won Miss Florida, I won in June of 2003, and then to September of 2003 when I won Miss America, we were just a really tight package, and they just helped me to know things that I didn't know.
Right.
So my inner drag queen was very suppressed.
Girl, and let me tell you, Ericka is a full fucking drag queen, honey. A full-fledged drag. Have you performed and did drag before?
I have. I've done it all. Like
You've done drag before?
Yeah, but I sing live. I'll lip sync. I'll do it all. I love I love all things drag. Like I go to drag pageants just to go and just be in the environment. So I don't lose my creativity in stage performance because it is mastery stage performance.
I tell people all the time the gays actually do help make some of the baddest bitches that you see in the
absolutely.
world. Beyonce team, Cardi B, anybody, and gays kind of really do influence culture. Like we have our whole thumb on that. So that's dope. How many black people have won, black women have won Miss America?
So we're at 9 now.
Okay.
And how many years?
In 97.
Of America?
97.
97 years
There have been 9.
Okay.
And no Latina.
Never?
Wow.
Not one.
Get me
ever.
a gay. I'm going.
And I didn't know pageants was big in the Latin community.
Oh,
in
it's
Puerto
everything.
Rico, it's like we talked about this before
Yes.
on 2 of my episodes, and it was like Puerto Rico shuts down.
Yeah.
It's a holiday.
It's a whole thing. In
Like-
Venezuela and Colombia.
Venezuela?
Everywhere else, it's a big deal.
All the money they spend on those bodies, they better
What?
make it a big deal.
Miss Venezuela, I've heard, I think it's probably very correct, that once you win, you get a stipend for life, like $100,000 equivalent stipend for life, and you get a house, like a nice little mansion situation, so you can entertain people properly. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just sitting here looking at the
I
U.S.
might be
like, yo, what's up?
Right, I
Like,
might be trans-
Where's my stipend?
first of all, y'all owe me for my 40 acres and a mule. Thank you.
Hello?
Thank you.
So you know they ain't gonna give us that, honey.
I know, but I'm just
we
saying,
need-
like,
we
the
need
least you could do.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Exactly.
I did see that you went to Boone, which my brother and sister both graduated from Boone, and I played at Boone. I was like, oh, you're a
Yay.
Boone girl.
I'm a Boone brave. I'm very much a home girl. I'm from Orlando, and I have a wonderful, bittersweet kind of feeling about Orlando.
Yes.
I love my hometown. I love where I'm
love
from,
it too.
but it's difficult to make it big and then come back home because a lot of people,
The mindset.
all they do is go to high school.
Yeah.
And I'm not.
And they don't leave.
Yeah, and they don't leave, and they're not exposed, and so it makes it really difficult when you've traveled the world by the time you're 21,
Right.
And you're on the front page of the Kuwaiti paper. Like strange stuff has happened to me in life, and then I come back home, and people are like, "Girl, we going to Ember," and I'm like,
right.
Okay.
I've seen
You're still
you out
going
there.
there?
Exactly. This is what
I
we
mean,
still
I do
doing.
now because I'm very
Right,
much,
no
you know,
choice.
like.
So,
No, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I talk about it with
Yeah.
Mandy all the time. So Mandy left, and she's in New York. And I'm getting it now a little bit in messages like, oh, everybody always leaves Orlando. First of all, I'm only leaving for 3 months as of right now. But there's opportunities outside of Orlando. And I'm not saying that I don't want to come back. I truly love the city.
Yeah.
But there is a stigma of Orlando. Like when you leave, like, oh, so you better?
Yeah,
No, we're nothing
you
but-
just need to want better for yourself. I mean,
Right.
that's not my fault.
And this is a great city. Like you're with real estate for families and for corporate and
Yeah.
for attorneys.
But for
that's-
singles who are looking to mingle, let me look in the camera when I say this. Let me tell you something. Don't come here if you ain't got nobody. If you don't have a man, if you
That
don't
is
have a woman,
so
if you're
true.
looking, I don't care if you're gay,
Yes.
straight,
Yes.
you queer, whatever
Whatever.
you might think you are.
Yes.
Don't come here to find it.
Because, bitch, I'm still single. I'm sitting here. I just came from D.C. and it's just like, dude.
Like,
I
seriously.
Because this is where I will find my fucking husband. I've always told you
You've
that.
always said
Everybody
that.
tells me, like, you would be the belle of every ball if you moved to D.C. And you should go here. You should go there. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm in Orlando.
You know,
Right.
And I could change that, right? But there is some comfort in the fact that my entire family's here.
Yeah.
My setup, my people are here. So, like,
Right.
if something happens to me of any sort, like I left something at the house or if
call
I broke
someone.
my finger,
Somebody can do it.
somebody's here to support.
It's different for me because I moved here from Jacksonville to go to UCF. So a lot of friends, while I was in college and a couple years after before post, it's like Orlando was perfect for me. You know, I had my friends that I made over the years, and then everybody started to move away. Once they graduated, they moved away to these big cities, and then once post happened, a lot of people in my community ended up just moving. So it's like I'm looking around and I realize, hey, I really don't know anyone, to be honest, and which is weird. And then on top of that, like you said, it doesn't matter if you're gay, straight, or otherwise. Dating here sucks. And
It's a
I'm in the
family
best
place.
Years. Yeah, I'm in the prime
Everybody
years of my
comes
life.
here like already married, and unless you
but
met them in high
somebody's
school.
got like a brother, cousin that should move with them. Like there's,
Hello.
But
like,
if they're from here, it's like they met their person in high school.
yeah.
Or it's like everybody like kind of grew up together. So it's like, oh, I'm going to date this one. And if not, they've already moved. Like they literally moved for work. They moved for whatever. So that part kind of sucks when it comes to Orlando. But I really do love the city outside of it. But we did bring you on today because we wanted to talk about colorism. So I've been wanting to do this episode forever.
Well, thank you.
And the person that I was going to do it with, finally, she couldn't make it. And then here comes Anthony. We can just do it ourselves. And I said, ooh, that might be a touchy one. I don't think we can do this one on our own.
I'm like, bitch, I'm black. I can talk about this shit. What the fuck?
And especially because of that, then I'm like, oh, it makes sense because I have two aspects of colorism within my life. I have seeing it in the Hispanic side of it, and then here in America. You have it from here, but then it's like I can't speak on the dark skin side of anyone because I'm not that. So we're like, who are we gonna Who are we gonna bring?
On their experiences,
right? Especially definitely not on their experience. So I brought up because you said, well, I'm black. There's a difference between colorism and racism, and I think people don't understand that there is a huge difference between the both because colorism, it's prejudice. Why does this keep popping up? It's a discriminatory act against people based on their color or shade of tone of their skin, just the color. And then racism is being prejudiced against people based on their perceived racial status. So it's like black or white or Hispanic or whatever that is. Now, in cases of colorism, two people can be the same exact race. Prime example.
Light skin, dark
So
skin.
we have light skin, dark skin, same exact race, but then you're treated differently because of the color of your skin. So we brought you on one because you did win Miss America, and like you just said, 97 years and only 9 won, and you were the first one.
No. I'm
you were
number
the-
7.
Number 7.
So, and speaking of colorism,
Wait a minute, we're in 2019, and there's only been 2 more.
yeah.
Wait, I thought she was 1 and we've had 8.
Oh no.
Oh, you were the first Miss Florida.
I was first Black Miss Florida.
Okay, first Black Miss Florida.
Which is still piss poor.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm the only, actually. So not just the first, but the only. And so when you think about this program has been giving scholarships for young women for 80 years in the Miss Florida system.
Yeah.
And in 80 years, there's been 1 Black winner.
Yeah.
wow.
And what does that do for that black
Like,
education?
really?
Right, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So what are you saying, that Black girls aren't they're not talented enough, they're not engaging enough, they're not well spoken, well put together enough to be able to represent this brand? I don't understand. Like how
We
Sway?
just had 3 of them win, right?
So we have a Miss USA, Miss America, which are different, and they're different
Oh, I
because
didn't know
Miss
that.
USA was a derivative of Miss America, and so Miss America started in 1921,
Okay.
and it was the original pageant competition, and it started with mostly just random cities, but mostly northern cities, and then over time the southern states started to participate. And so in 1950, the woman who won, her dad would not allow her to take her official portrait in her swimsuit, which at the time the main sponsor was Catalina Swimwear. So if the title sponsor was Catalina Swimwear, you're gonna wear a swimsuit.
Right.
You know, this is branding 101. And so the father of the Miss America, Yolande Betsby, they were like, she is not going to be remembered in a swimsuit. And so they wouldn't let her take it, and Catalina broke off. and started their own competition to rival Miss America. And so Miss USA was formed out of rivaling Miss America.
Oh, okay. Give me my little history. Now,
Yeah.
Kenya Moore, what did she win?
She was Miss USA.
Miss USA.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even know she was a pageant girl.
Yeah, she was a pageant girl. That's what my friends
Yeah.
called me, by the way. They all have me saved as Kenya in their phone.
You would be her.
Gabby texted me and she's like, bitch, that is actually spot on.
It's pretty accurate. It's pretty accurate, bitch. So, what is there colorism that what you've seen? Now, you've been in it for years within that industry.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's straight up racism, first of all.
Oh.
And then the colorism part of it is, so for example, with the Black Miss Americas, the first Black Miss America was Vanessa Williams, the singer actress.
yes.
And so when you think about colorism, that's kind of spot on. Like, I love her. Love her. She follows me on Instagram and like sends me messages, and she's like totally hooked me up.
You're like, we're friends.
With like a documentary producer, like,
Yes.
we're girls.
Yeah.
So I love you, Vivi. But
She is light-skinned
but she's
with-
light skinned with light eyes.
Yes.
Like, you know, she is
European
the quintessential of what is considered to be beautiful Black woman without being mammy. Because for
Right.
whatever reason, Black women are given like 3 categories. They're either Holly Berry, or they're Monique, or they're mammy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's it. There's really no fit for people like me, you know? And over the past few years, as more Black women have started to enter into the realms of the C-suite and being CEOs of various major corporations, we've started to see this diversity of Black women and how we interact and how we represent. But the colorism of pageants is the lighter the better, because then you don't have all those Negroid features on my program book. You don't have all of those Negroid features and all of that hair and all of that.
Yeah, I know growing up,
Wow.
Black women, Black girls especially, you know, kids would pick on Black girls, you know,
Yeah.
or they would give statements like, oh, you're pretty for a Black girl. And
Yes.
And that's still what's crazy about that. So you're saying when I was growing up, that still happens. To
Still
this day.
happens.
Yeah.
I had a guy 6 or 7 years ago. It was very recent, but it was about 7 years ago. I was at an event, and this light-skinned Black guy comes up to me, and he says, "Man, you are really beautiful for a dark-skinned girl." And I was like, that was a pickup line. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Would you like my number? Or do you want to just go straight to the bathroom? Like, what are we going to do? I'm so turned on. Like, get out of here. That's not going to work.
Right.
That's
I know.
not it. So the fact that he thought it was acceptable to come to me and be like, "You are so bad for a dark-skinned girl," I was like,
And
okay.
saying it with such confidence too.
And you know, we were talking, and I told you that is just specific to women, but it's not. It actually happened this weekend. Gay guys do it. Guys do it too. One of my friends was actually talking. He was like, you know, I only like the light skin people. I really can't do anything darker. And I was like, dude, did you just really fucking say that out loud?
Well,
Like,
I think that's
what's
a
this-
preference. So I do see, in fact, because I'm not a huge fan of light-skinned guys. I don't like Spanish guys. I don't like white guys. So that's a preference in dating.
Yeah.
I
But
think it's
see, you just said you don't like light skin, white, or Spanish guys, right?
Speak Spanish and I'm dry. Don't say hola to me because I'm gonna turn the other way.
So those are like very distinct, but they're more so cultural. But like within the Black community, it's weird for whatever reason, light skinned guys love me. And it's not because I am equal opportunity.
Yeah.
I am the
Right.
United Nations of dating. I will date them all.
Yeah.
I will. And I've married one that was other. So I was like,
saw
I'm
that.
willing. But at the same time, in our community, for whatever reason, you are seen as more attractive automatically if you're light skinned. It's like, I have seen some light skinned girls that are not cute.
Yes.
Oh, plenty
My
of
face
them.
is way more naturally beat than that.
Yeah,
and
no.
you just like her because she's light skinned. That's crazy.
Carla and I call it light skin privilege.
Yeah.
And it
And
really is
no,
light-skin
but there
privilege.
is a light skin privilege. I
is.
definitely do believe that. And when I see about it, what we were just talking about, going back to it really quick, I feel like the mistreatment of it is more prominent within women than it is men. Because when you see a man, even dating back to like slavery time, they were afraid of these dark skinned men. They're strong. When most people see a dark skin, it's like they're strong. They're like, they're assertive. You know.
I see the same thing. I see your ancestors through your veins. The darker you are. When I see
Right.
the naps, I see how many pieces of cotton your family picked. I see the strength. and I'm ready for it. Listen.
But then you have the
I get
women,
it,
and it's like, no, you're smarter, you're more educated, you're more beautiful, the more white you have in you. I was looking into like the slavery aspect of it, and there was something called one drop rule. So it doesn't matter if you have one drop of black in you, you're black. But then they would take the lighter skin ones, because I'm like, where did this come from? And it dates to way before slavery here in America, because colorism is definitely not just here in America.
It's so many cultures.
It's in India,
Yeah.
in China, in the Hispanic community. It is awful how bad colorism is within the Hispanic community. But here itself, it's like you just look more. You're supposed to be more beautiful and more educated if you're light skinned, and just more acceptable. So how have you dealt with, your color and being a dark skinned, beautiful woman, but being treated differently, like growing up and even recently?
I developed a very thick skin to it. My mother is your complexion, and my dad is darker. And so I took after him. And growing up, my mom and I even had some challenges with colorism just from her own conditioning, because that's really all it is a conditioning. And so my mom has hair like yours, and she's light skinned, lighter skin. She's been in the sun because she just loves to be outside. So she's a little darker, but by nature she looks like that. Dark. And so, she would say things that were kind of damaging. It was like, yo, you really shouldn't. But God equipped me with the wisdom to be able to surpass, even in my family, some of the things that were being said to me, and it just didn't affect me as much. Like, my whole thing was, I'm so dope. Like, I felt like I've never been an arrogant person, but I always felt like I was cute. Yeah. You know what I mean? So being confident in my cuteness, being confident in my skills, being confident in my articulation, my ability to just communicate with people well and to persuade people and to build communities. That's what made me feel like I can do whatever I want to.
But did you feel like you were doing that to compensate for your skin color? So when I think about it, it's like you need to be more educated. You need to speak very proper. You need to, carry yourself a certain way to not compensate. I think that's the wrong word. It's more like to make others accept you more.
No. And that's just because my parents put me in the right environments. And so I was fortunate to just have an environment where I went to a private school, which is not always the best. Yeah. But, I went to a private school.
They got auto-hose. I went to private school, too.
Private school, private school doesn't mean, like, you're so exclusive.
No.
But it was a more controlled environment, and so I was able to interact with people who were very different, but I was always, like, a top student. So I was always considered a leader. I've naturally always been selected as the line leader, as the first captain of the patrols, as like, I remember when that happened, I was like, I'm the captain? What? How the hell? What am I supposed to do? Like,
well, let me do this.
So I go to my cousin. My cousin was in 8th grade. I was like, how do I do this? Like, I was so nervous. But I always got selected to be like that student who always represented the students by other teachers and principals and stuff. So I never felt like I had to overcompensate for not being as pretty. There was this one girl, I'll leave her name exclusive because it still kind of pains me sometimes, but she had hair down to her back. I had a jerry curl. It was very traumatic. she had hair down to her back, and she was just like, her mom was Italian, her dad was black, and she was just like this pretty little, nutmeg princess, and everyone just favored her because she had all this hair, and I used to just be so jealous of her and all of her stupid hair and her stupid pigtails, and her ponytails were always perfect. It was like, I don't care if you can get a fish tail bone thing. What is that fish bone?
Like fish bone tail.
Who cares? But I used to get so, like, a little bit envious of it, but I was always a little smarter than her, so that kind of made me feel like, oh well, at least I have that.
So it's funny that you say, so I grew up in the opposite. I grew up in a household where everybody was dark skinned. I'm the lighter one in my family here. And I got picked on for that. My sister, when we used to go back and forth, she would call me two things that would get a rise out of everybody. She'll call me gay, or she'll call me a cracker. And so growing up, listen, so my mom, when I was a baby, my nickname was Moon. Okay. And then as I got older, my nickname became White Boy. And from White Boy, from when I got into my teenage years, I was called Cracker. So my mom would call me Cracker, come up, and that's what she still will call me to this day. And it's like, girl, you don't know. And then to say that around my friends and have all my fucking friends laugh
they're gonna
at
think
that,
you're white.
It's just like, what the fuck? So I always had to try to prove my fucking blackness. Even when I travel to new schools and everything like that, people would say, oh, you speak differently. You're a fucking Oreo. I'm not an Oreo, nigga.
Right.
I'm from the same place. I'm
so
raised the same way you are.
What I feel like we have done, because I used to get accused of those same things, is we kind of over black sometimes.
Yes, I did.
We over
I
black
did,
because
yes.
that way I'm down. So like I really dance well. And I really can cuss well.
Yeah.
I really can cook macaroni really well.
The
Had the sticky
stereotype
bonnets
black.
and- yeah.
And
say
that's
things.
crazy
It's
because
crazy.
for you, we can't. What did we decide that you're darker? I'm darker.
Oh, I think he is
run
darker
out-
than you.
I do run outside a lie. I'm gonna give you that, but I am darker, girl.
Just a little. I think we have a different undertone. Anyway, what's crazy is that to you, they were like, "Oh, like you're white or whatever." Me coming from Puerto Rico, I was too dark.
Really?
So when I was born, my grandma wasn't very accepting of me because I was too dark. Then I was la negra, and if you see pictures of me, I mean, being in Puerto Rico, you're always out, so you're even darker. I feel like I've definitely gotten lighter the older I got. I don't know if that's a thing.
Strangely, I think you can.
I think if you really
if
do.
you're not outside a lot.
Yeah, I think you start working, life takes over, and you're like working a desk 9 to 5, and you get no sun. I had a deficiency of vitamin D at one point in time.
I
So
did too.
they
That's
were-
the reason why I run outside a lot too.
Yeah, they
help
wanted
with
me to
that.
take like 50,000 whatever
working
units.
in the office.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was always too dark for certain people, or I was just considered la negra. And I had a big argument when we talked about the thing when I went to Puerto Rico, like, oh, you know, you're out of your mind. And the area that I grew up in, my dad put us in because he wanted us to be in a more affluent area. It was mostly white Spanish people. So I was just too dark. Then my sister, who is darker than me, I remember till this day. And I don't know if you've had any friends, or do you have siblings? So if you had siblings that did this, we moved into this area, and I've never had her on the show, and I don't know if she'll care that I say this. She was little. We move in. I think I was just born, and all her friends were pretty white in Puerto Rico, but they were very, very light-skinned, except one. And she wanted to go play with them, but my dad was at the time considered the street guy. So it was like the president of Pfizer, doctors and attorneys, and my dad was a street guy. Like he just brings us out, uses his money to bring us in. So we're going in, she wants to make friends with these kids. So she's about to go try to like meet them and be friends with them again. And my mom tells me that she catches her going out the house full of white powder. Her arms and her face, because she wanted to be like them, to be accepted by them. Then my mama had her like an afro, and one side was shaved even more. It was just so bad. Like the Jerry curl type situation. My sister had it even worse. But I'm like, I think I had just been born literally, so I wasn't old enough to experience any of that. Plus, I always didn't really care what anyone said to this day. But things like that, I think about. I can't speak on how that felt because I never felt that way. For me to be like, I need to lighten up my skin now to like be accepted.
So I tell people that this whole light skin, dark skin thing kind of started with slavery here in America. It's like, you know, you having the house niggas that usually the lighter people were the ones that were in the house.
The ones that had the one drop of black.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And then the darker ones would be outside in the field and stuff. And I think Master had a great way of putting us together, making the light skinned people think they were better, or the darker skinned people will think that the light skinned people.
Well,
are
they
better
would because the lighter you were, the more education they would give you. So
more education, more opportunities, more ability to stay in the house.
Yes.
Hell, it's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot now. Can you imagine what it was like out there?
The way here, I was like, what the fuck is going on out here?
There's no way.
Shit,
Like
no AC or nothing.
I have cotton in my office, and it's like I have a lot of it, and I have it there, and I've had it for years to remind me and anyone who walks into my space that this is where I come from. My grandmother picked cotton straight up and down. My grandmother, not my great-great, my whole grand, like I knew her.
This is when these younger generation kids come out. It's like, oh, slavery was so long ago. No. It wasn't.
No, we're still living in it.
Yeah.
We're still living.
My great-granddaddy was a slave.
It's a whole different type
like
of slavery, but we're still deep in it.
We're trying to still condition our minds and our thinking like outside of what we were taught that light-skinned people were prettier. You know, all these things that we're just trying to get through, especially men. I don't know if so you're saying your dad is darker, your mom is lighter. It's like, does he have a preference for lighter women? You know, because maybe was he taught that by his parents, you know?
No, he just likes them all. I am my daddy's daughter.
And you're saying that you're equal opportunity. So you've dated. I saw a picture, and I don't know if you were married to him or who it was. Was it a white guy? He was like Caucasian. Okay. Oh, so you guys aren't together.
Kleinschmidt was his last name. Kleinschmidt, Gesundheit. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's white.
Right. Like Wisconsin white.
Yeah.
What? Jesus.
So let me tell you what had happened. We met at UCF. So we met at UCF. We were friends.
It is.
The white school that's down the street from me. Like,
Correct.
You know, it was availability, right? And they gave me a full ride. So
I went
was
there
going,
too, full ride.
full riding down the street. So we met in school, and when we were in school, he would pursue me, but I was just like, what are we going to do? Like, no, this is not going to work. Right. No, we're in college now. We're real people. We're real adults. This is not high school. We cannot do this. And he just like kept pressing me, and I was just like, no, not really. So after school, after Miss America, he found my number and called me randomly on my birthday. And I was kind of mad at the girl who gave him my number at first because I was like, he's always calling me. I changed my number. He still finds me. Right. But this guy kept finding me. So I was like, well, all right, let's catch up. And so he came to Tennessee. I lived in Tennessee for 5 years, pursuing a country music career. Mm-hmm. He came, visited me. He took me out on a date. He took me to dinner. He took me to a show. We had fun. We walked. We held hands. We did date stuff. Mm-hmm. And that was enough. And I was just like, oh, okay, well, we can keep in touch. So he came to visit me 2 weeks later. He flew to visit me again. And it was like, well, you're the only one who's trying. Mm-hmm. So let's just keep seeing each other. Right. And then he would call me every night. And, you know, like he just tried and he was consistent. And so that was enough for me to be like, you know what? You've been on it since we were in college. You obviously really like me. Yes, you can, you know, be my boo. Like I made him wait for like 4 months to be my boyfriend.
Right.
Like you going to fly these miles.
Right. Yeah.
How do you, but how do you, and how long ago was that?
That was... So we've been divorced for 10 years.
Oh, shit. So it was a long time ago.
10 years. God,
I just feel like dating outside of my race, you need to be able to relate to me as a black
so
man.
how do you relate to him? That's like, we were going to do an erasure
quickly,
thing.
let me get to that part. Yeah. The demise of our relationship was more so that I had an awakening and I realized I'm not going to be able to be true to my core if I stay with you. And it has nothing to do with you. Yeah. He's a good guy. He's a great person. He was a good partner. He was a good friend. He was a great roommate, so to speak. You know, it's important to be able to live with a person. Right. We were easy. We were good. But I knew that a little piece of me was going to die if I had children with him, if we continued to build. We were buying properties and flipping properties in Nashville. Like, we can't keep doing this because we're getting in deep. Yeah. And we're only 20. At the time, we were 29 when we got divorced. So it was devastating because no one in his family had ever been divorced. Like, I felt like I really did a lot of damage. But at the same time, we didn't have any kids. So it was like, who cares? All we need to do is sell these houses and move on with our lives. And we don't have that big of a scar. And at least we marry good people. Like, we tried it with a good person. This ain't going to work.
And most people won't do that. They'll sit there and be like, well, I already got married. The family wants us to be together. Yeah. That happened to me with my divorce. They were like, oh my God, you're supposed to stay together. Like, why would I don't want to be with you.
Do not be miserable.
The great thing you said you was going to lose a piece of yourself. I know friends that have lost themselves, who they are because they want to date. They think dating white people give them this certain status and all this other stuff.
But were you losing yourself because he was white?
No. Not really. But what I noticed is that, yes, and one... This is very controversial, so think what you want. This is just my personal life, okay? My personal life said that one of us is going to have to die to our culture, point blank, and it was going to be me. Because we were in a Christian situation where, you know, we went to church a lot at the time, and it was like, you got to do what your husband says to do. And I was trying to be very honorable to my husband and submit to the authority of my husband and all of that. And you can't do that if you don't do what he wants to do. Right. Not all of what he wants to do, but a light bulb came off. My mom had gone to the hospital during Thanksgiving. We were not planning to come home for Thanksgiving that year. And so when I found out she was in the hospital, I was like, well, flights are going to be way too expensive. So we're going to drive it down. It's an 11-hour drive. And that's when I told him we were getting a divorce, was on that drive. But at the same time, I was like, I've got to go home and see my mom. Right. While I was in the hospital with my mother, his mom was like worrying me about driving down to Tampa to take Christmas pictures for their Christmas send out cards. I was like, I could care less.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
I don't care about your white shirt and your jeans and your stupid picture because my mom is laid up right now. Like, I'll see y'all later. Yeah. And literally, I didn't show up for that picture. I missed it, and I wasn't in the family by the end of the year.
Yeah, that was a huge. Huge thing for them.
I was not going to succumb to the fact that your mom wants me to have a crispy white shirt right now. I really don't care.
The white shirt means nothing to me. Someone's life is on the line.
You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, my mom is fine and she's healthy and she's back to normal and everything's good. But that was just a big. That was when it was like, oh yeah, I'm doing.
Did they treat you any different? I would always be scared to date, because I feel like we're conditioned to certain things as people of color.
Yeah.
I feel like white people are also conditioned to a lot of the things. Like a lot of the racism that comes is like what they've learned.
I was going to ask about being fetishized. You know, being a dark exotic. You know, white men. From what I just think that, you know, they date a darker skinned woman. It's like, oh, she's exotic, you know. She's totally
they want a piece
opposite.
of Africa.
Yes, I want a piece of the motherland and everything. So it's just like,
it's a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a little strange. I have been fortunate. Most of the white guys that I've dated have usually been.
Oh, it's been more than one.
Oh yeah, I don't mind.
So the pink meat don't scare you?
I can't. It's really not that pink.
You know it is.
It's
I saw
not.
porn. It was nasty.
Girl, you watch it. They're professionals, so theirs is always going to be a little extra
So it's not
overdone.
pink?
No, it's not that pink.
But it's white.
It's it's beige. It's beige.
Okay, sorry.
And
go
it's not
ahead.
bad. Not all of it's bad.
Girl.
I'm gonna leave that where it's at. But the point is, is that what was the question?
About the motherland
Fetishize.
being
Sorry.
fetishized.
God, I'm hot.
She would do that. She would do that in a minute.
I do.
Oh my God.
It's just you said
So yeah, the
multiple.
fetish
I said,
thing
ooh.
is a little weird. So I've been really fortunate to pretty much only date white guys who like. They just like people. They're really sweet, most of them. But there's a couple that I'm like, I don't know
Why
about
would you say that? Like, no, like, guys, they'll say certain things. I'm like, why would
you just
what?
no, that's not for me. I'm not doing
I would
jungle
think they
fever
would have
stuff.
one comment that we just gonna fight. That you're gonna say something wrong
Yeah.
about a color or about someone that walks by, or you might fuck up and say nigga.
So
And-
I was in New Orleans with.
Oh, he fucked up and said nigga.
He didn't, but he was more aggressive to the black guys, and he was not paying attention to the other white guys who were trying to get at me. So he was very like
He was defensive.
He was defensive.
Yeah.
Like the black guys were automatically gonna like
Take you.
Like we were gonna have a fist bump moment, and my soul was just gonna connect. You know?
Yeah, no.
Which was really weird, and I had to check him on that. Like, calm down,
Yeah.
calm down right now, or else this is over.
Yeah, I tell I just talked about it this weekend. I feel like light skinned people sometimes can be fetishized as well by the darker skinned people. Darker skinned. Let me stop saying people. What the fuck?
I mean,
By
there
darker
are
skinned,
people.
individuals. Yeah, it's like you are looked at as exotic and everything like that when it comes to.
And I'm from down the
dark-skinned.
street.
And right, and that's what girls tend to think. Like the reason why black men want you is because you're exotic,
Right.
and all this other stuff. They want that exotic coochie. And same thing for. And like I had to check my god. The friend is like, bitch, I don't like being fetishized and everything like about being like I like being worshipped. Don't get me wrong,
Right.
but
Yeah.
not because of the color. Of my
But it's
skin.
strange,
Right, but I
It
have
is.
been in a situation where it's been darker women around me, and it's like they'll choose me first, or they'll talk to me first
Automatically.
And I'm thinking, but they're just as fine. Have you ever gotten the "you're too white"? Because so when I see you and I thought of Ericka Dunlap, it's like first of all, pageant. It's a white thing when
Right.
in our eyes, like. Here.
Then I sang country music, and I married a white
And
boy.
then
and it's
you
like,
said
oh,
country
this bitch
music
is
for
crazy.
5 years,
Yeah.
and then you speak well. When we researched you, when you walked in here, and there was actually someone tagged you in a picture recently. Were you at a pool party or something?
Yeah.
I don't know who it was that tagged you, and I said, "She's not there," and I'm looking again. And then I saw your hair.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what the fuck is this? That's not the Ericka Dunlap that I know of.
I
Because
met
when
Ericka like this. I didn't meet her in pageant. I met her after pageant.
Well, I've never
This is
met
the
her.
Ericka
Met me
I
out.
know. Yeah.
So
the
my picture
challenge-
of you is like
Yeah.
this white, quote unquote, white black girl.
Yeah.
So do you get that? That's why I asked you earlier about your education. Were you doing it to over?
Yeah, I get that a lot, but it's just from people who just see me on here. They don't see me in real life. So once you meet me, people are like, man, you're so down to earth. You're so cool. I'm like, that's so offensive to me personally because I'm like, I'm just nothing like what people think. And I try really hard not to. I mean, I'm very critical of like my Instagram life because, what does it really look like? I don't know what
Right.
it looks like because it's just me, right? But to the average person, like when you look at this, are you like, what?
Yeah.
So the other day, literally, I was just like, I want an afro today. I don't even know why, but my spirit was saying, bitch, wear an afro. It's hot. It's Memorial Day. You need to have your titties on. You need to have an afro. And I was just feeling my Pam Grier. So I was like, let me go find
And
me
but you
an
gave it
afro
to me
wig,
with-
honey. Yes,
You give it to
baby.
me.
No, I had to literally. I clicked on your page and I'm like, who is lying about? Because I knew I was going to see you today, and I'm like, I don't know who tagged. I wish I could remember right now.
Was you
But-
was it you were with Dale at the pool party?
Yeah, I was with
Okay.
Dale.
Yeah.
And Yeah, it was. I think there was just a couple pictures floating around. There's some.
Yeah, I don't remember who it was that I saw.
Fraternity and sorority stuff going on.
When I think of you, I think of that girl that everyone goes, you just want to be white. But maybe it's because of the pageant, the way you've carried yourself for so many years, the image they put out of you. I feel like the media and the pageant world put out an image of you as well.
The image is that you're creme de la creme. You're kind of untouchable. And that's really hard when you come back to regular society because you are creme de la creme for the year and you get to do some really amazing stuff as Miss America. I traveled 20,000 miles a month at minimum. And I mean, all by plane, but still, it's like you're in the air. You're going from LA to New York, back and forth, over a 4-day period. It's a lot. It's just like what every celebrity story sounds like. And so when you're going that much and you're making speeches and you're interacting with CEOs of big companies and you're having, special dinners that are just for you and you have little kids who are coming and singing songs for you at different events. And then you have somebody, like I had someone to draw a portrait of me and my parents from when I won the pageant and it was on the runway, and I don't even know how they got this moment, but they drew this picture. It was some kids in Alabama at a high school, and they presented this huge portrait to me, and it was just like I kept getting showered with all these wonderful things. It was amazing.
Yes,
it was the most
being
amazing.
It's so special being a dark skinned girl, but especially because you're not really represented a lot. And the thing that she just said, in order for you to have this creme of the creme type attitude, it's just like, but then you come off as white. Like you have to act white in order to have this personality.
Like you're better than everyone else. And I feel like
I can still be black.
And you know what's so sad about it is that just because I don't speak with the vernacular of black. Let's break it down because it's more so a dialect.
Yes, it's a
dialect. Ebonics is a dialect.
It is.
And the vernacular of your neighborhood, like there's some of my family members that you will not be able to decipher what they're saying.
Right.
Because that's their native tongue, right? Yes. But I get it. I know exactly what they're saying, but just because I enunciate and I pronounce all of my syllables, that does not make me white. That makes me educated.
Yeah.
Right.
Point blank.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It depends on the environment I'm in.
Right. And I have to be able to be comfortable enough with you and allow me to be that. Allow me to be uncomfortable with you. Okay? I don't know you. Why do I have to give you all of me?
Exactly.
I do not need to give you all of these. Okay? You do not deserve it. You have not.
Bitch, I'm so jealous of this damn accent. I'm going to take acting classes so I can get this damn accent together.
No, have you been treated differently by other dark skinned women because they might say I'm
not dark enough?
Oh, yeah, or they tell you that you think you're better or some along those lines.
I've had a few of those insecurities pop up, and I usually just squash it because it's just not even that serious. It's like, seriously, you need to relish in the fact that one of us made it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, we made it.
I'm showing
and
you
you're
the
still
way.
here.
I think what really warms my heart is when I've had so many young women who have come up to me. Like, I had one girl crying, whole grown woman crying to me, and she was like, I'm from Panama. My whole family is light skinned, like your complexion. I'm the darkest one. She was my complexion. She's like, I always got picked on. My grandmother used to, call me negrita, and she used to just feel so bad because she was dark and she had a big nose and she wanted to get a nose job until she met me. And she was like, I wanted to get a nose job until I saw that you were Miss America, and if you were pretty enough to have a wide nose and be Miss America, then I could keep mine. It was like,
girl, Beyonce, when she came out with Formation and that I like my Negro nose with Jackson 5 nostrils. I'm like, come on, bitch. Like,
honey,
please let us know it's okay. You don't have to change your features to what standard of beauty of European, like,
why is that so amazing?
Like, what, right.
Because when we go, I was in Nigeria in August of last year, and when I went, there is none of that.
It's none of that.
There's none of that.
They're prideful.
Well, they do. There is a colorism. Like, there is a bleaching issue. There is, there's that part of it.
Didn't Black China have that bleaching cream?
Did.
And it was like super popular in Africa.
They will buy a bleaching cream. I'm really thinking about making one.
Money, honey.
I want everybody to love the skin they're in, but if you don't, bitch, I got
I can
you.
help you.
Give me your coins. I take them all.
I'm just saying.
But African people are prideful people, especially Nigerians.
But their features, like the features don't bother them. Like, I think there's some African men that just don't appeal to me because I don't know, they're just not African American enough, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
But the features, like, I think they want the bigger the nose.
They do. Big titties, big ass, all of
of
that.
Big lips, big everything.
Yes, and it's so funny because white people now are starting to adapt the things that they called ugly.
I just live for Kylie Jenner. I live for the fact that she has just transformed her whole everything into a black woman. She's a whole black lady.
And the thing about we watched this bitch
She's living her best black life.
With no
you
lips.
are-
You was like this the whole time. You could barely
She
talk
was
with no
always
lips.
the one that I was like, is that Chris's daughter? I don't know. Chris might have just took her on.
But no, did you just know she did the whole Kylie skin thing?
What is that?
Now she was doing Kylie Cosmetics, and now she's about to be like
she
a
do skin.
multi-billionaire
Yeah.
because now she got skin products sold out in like minutes as well. And
How, Sway?
Yeah, she's doing it. But that's the thing. Like
the girl is
I
a fucking genius.
I heard that people. Okay, men want light skin or white women with black features.
Right.
That's what they're
Which is
mostly
why these
attracted.
white girls go and get their asses done.
Right.
And it's like,
Exactly.
Go
oh,
get their
so
lips done.
why don't
Yeah.
you just use your white privilege for something else? Now you want to look like us too? Well, I don't
Now
know.
you have
But
to
then
take
the
all of
thing
our
is-
Us
men
ain't really making my ass
again.
look that big.
Yes, here you are. You have all these features naturally, and it's like, bitch, you want to go get a Build-A-Bear, then something that I was actually born. This bitch is trying to look like me, but
Right.
yet you want that because
And there is also a misconception that like dark skinned women don't love themselves, and I think that's just bullshit.
or dark skin women are angry.
Right, or that they're
Yeah.
angry. I still remember to this day, I was married to my ex-husband, Ayana's dad, and he's 6'8", dark skinned. They probably thought he was a basketball player. I don't know, he's broke as fuck.
I can't.
But so I used to, I love my weave and I love my hair. So I remember going to Hiawassee. There's a hair store right here in Hiawassee, and I usually go by myself. So he comes with me this one time, and they wouldn't help me. It's like they're just like Asians own it, but it's usually black girls that are working there. And these girls, they would not help me, and they were like, they're extra loud. And well, she want to come in here with that nigga, then she can go ahead and help herself. She better find somebody to help her. Oh, she got good hair, but one eye hair too. I'm like, but my hair don't grow fast. I'm trying to get me a couple extra inches, Like I would They were really, really mean to me. But I'm hoping that with now social media and people being more open about it and more, it's still not enough black women in the media, dark-skinned women in media. But I'm hoping that like they'll realize that it's a systemic thing, like coming back from slavery, and they won't treat us any different. It's like, I don't have a problem with you. You shouldn't have a problem with me either. It's like, oh, you took our men. I don't even take anybody. You don't even know him.
It's also a culturism thing
Yeah.
because if we think about like Cardi and Offset and just the whole dynamic there
Right.
and the dynamic of people like questioning Cardi's blackness and should she be allowed to say
Right.
nigga and all of this. It's like, first of all, you got to question her New Yorkness, which is a
It's
whole different
huge
topic,
there.
right? So that's a cultural thing. Is
They
New York
question
culture
her, but not Fat Joe.
They did,
Right.
but they questioned J-Lo. But J-Lo said
Back
the word
in the
nigga.
day, but I think it was because of J-Lo's status at the time. She was way bigger
It's a
than
big
Big
double
Pun
standard.
was. It's a double
It's a double
standard.
standard.
It's crazy.
Again, women.
Yeah.
So there's no colorism as much with men,
Well,
but the women, it's like, oh, you light skin, you shouldn't be able to say nigga, or you speak Spanish. But really, Cardi might have Spanish in her.
Yeah.
But the girl is a whole Bronx girl.
Yeah.
Like, that she doesn't know any
Isn't her
different.
She's
dad
not
Jamaican
Latina
or
like
something
that.
like
Trinidad-
that?
Trinidadian.
And she's like Dominican, which are black people.
They
Basically,
black
on
as
the
hell.
same island as Haiti. I mean, come on,
Super black.
So, and speaking of Haiti, when I went to Haiti with friends on a vacation, I noticed how different I was treated versus the rest of all my friends are dark skinned. So, like for example, the bellboys and everything like they'll hop to my bags first. They just ignore
because you
my
have
friends.
money. If you're light skinned, you have
Yeah.
money. That's the other challenge of
Right.
it, right?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. And my friend, he didn't go into detail. He was like, "It's because you're light skinned. That's the reason why they're paying attention to you and doing all this stuff and just totally ignoring."
You'll get it in Puerto Rico as well, and I think in the Hispanic communities you'll get it a lot.
Yeah.
But here it's just, I like to hear from, especially you who are a dark skinned woman, or you're saying, you know what, whatever struggles and whatever people might be treating you a certain way, it's like, you're still beautiful.
Yeah.
You're still smart. You can still do whatever anyone else does. The same way we're saying we can do whatever white people do in our colors.
Yeah.
You can be dark, you can be light, you can be medium skin. Whatever skin color you are, you're fine.
I believe in the code switch. I fully am a practitioner of the code switching because I feel like it's important for us to know how to, it's not that you're being fake, you just have to know how to wear the right mask for the masquerade ball. Like, if you got to switch it up, switch it up. Do what you have to do in order to advance and play to other people's ignorance. That's perfectly fine. That's I mean, McDonald's has been doing that forever.
They have.
Like, think of all the brands that have monetized and been able to profit off of people's just total ignorant bliss. So do that, but still be true to who you are.
That's the key.
And around your people that you're comfortable with, be who you are. But nobody owes you that level of comfortability with them to give all of their background
And
in one dose.
Don't hold validation from someone who doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be validated by white people. You want to be validated by someone who's lighter than you. Know your own worth before you worry about what someone else wants to do. Like, there's no one out here that can tell me, oh, you're better than so-and-so because you told me. Yeah, no. Or you're not good enough because you told me. Nah,
and this,
fam.
even wearing my hair like this, is growth. I mean, I love hair, period. But like last year, I shaved all my hair off, and I have it.
Really?
Like, it's so low. It's so low. Like, I love it low.
Love it,
and I can feel my head. And the boys like it.
Bitch, you owned it.
Listen.
You owned it. I remember you got those
the
pictures when you
thing.
cut your hair. I said, bitch, you better serve me. Bitch,
Yes.
I am not my hair in the Irene.
No,
That's what you was giving me.
it was a good feeling because I was a slave to my hair. I was a slave to the creamy crack. I was a slave to all of it. I had to have weave. I had to have braids. I had to have. But when I cut my hair off, I have never been sexier until I cut it all off, till it was all the way down.
I don't have the balls.
Oh, it's everything. Oh, it's like fuzzy. It feels so good.
So I have a question. When did light-skinned guys get played out? Like, honestly,
Never for
I
me.
remember
Hold on,
growing
wait.
up. I remember growing up. And in the 90s and shit like that, watching New Jack City, the light-skinned boys. So I couldn't wait to get older because, bitch, I was going to run. Then I guess somehow it switched and light-skinned guys got played out. What
Never. I don't believe in that. I feel like, oh my gosh, if you are light-skinned with pink lips, sign up.
Come
Come
That's why
over.
I tell people, hey, shit, stop. Y'all say that out in public, but y'all still be trying to hit on. Like, I don't see any difference in the client. Y'all just say it in public, like, oh, I don't fuck with light-skinned guys.
Oh, no, it's the truth. I love them. And if you have dreads, it's done.
Nah.
Light skin
with
and dreads.
What? Done.
That is no.
DONE.
I wish I can grow
Period.
dreads.
Oh, my
girl.
God.
I wish. Oh my god.
We could put a unit on you. Like, you might want to try it out because it works.
Look, I was gonna get Dale to make me a man piece one time.
Oh my God, I'm serious. It totally works.
Yes.
But yeah, I was gonna go somewhere and I forgot. Wait, we were talking about something really good.
I have no
I
idea.
wanted to mention it.
How about we were talking about your hair?
We were talking about hair.
And then we went to light skin.
I don't know. Light skin guys are still in, though.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
I love dark skin. Like you said, I love dark skin, man.
I find that dark skinned men don't like me as much, though.
Light skin men don't like me as much either.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I don't welcome it because I welcome anybody. But 10 times out of 10, it's not going to be a dark skinned guy that approaches me.
Really? Yeah, light skinned guys, it's the personality. It's sometimes we can feel entitled to certain things, and I just can't really deal with that. Look, it can't be two divas in a motherfucking relationship. So
I was going to mention back when I was competing in pageants, when I first started, my first competition was Miss Orlando, and I was first Black Miss Orlando, and so I knew there hadn't been a Black one before, and I felt like I needed to do something different in order to win the competition. And so back then, I was working for an eye doctor. I was an optometric assistant, and listen, she does it all. So literally, I would get my little discount on the contacts and stuff. So I had purple, I had blue, I had green contacts. I tried everything, but I settled on gray for a really long time. And they were very attractive on me, and they looked really good, and they fit my face and my eyes. But there came a point where I was just like, but why do I not like my brown eyes that are in my head? These give me problems. Like, I can't, they roll up on your iris.
They hurt and they get dry and dry.
It was just a lot going on. So I just got to a point where I couldn't wear the prescription contacts anymore. So I just wore my regular contacts. And I started to love myself. I started to like me. Yeah. I thought I needed a nose job for the longest. That was my plan. Getting out of high school, when I turned 21, I'm getting a nose job.
Right.
For what? I have a cute nose. And it unfortunately took a couple of guys who, I think there was 3 of my boyfriends were just, that was the one thing, guys would kiss my nose. And when they started to love my nose, I was like, oh, my nose I guess it's cute. It's all right.
Yeah.
And it took that for me to be okay with myself, which is unfortunate. But, the feeling like you need to assimilate, like you need to change yourself and transform in order to advance, That's a lot of who we are as a black people, unfortunately.
Yeah, what we're starting to do is we're starting to be proud and love our features and understanding that we don't have to look like the white man or the white person.
Especially when the white man is trying to look like us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So speaking about that, I'm so happy you said something about you doing country music and stuff like that. Little X has a song right now that is big. K. Michelle wanted to do country music too, and we talk about the racism in country music and everything. What stopped you from doing country music? What was your roadblocks?
Going hard with country music, I moved there because I knew, like, growing up, I used to sing country, so it was nothing new. But then once I actually won Miss America, it was like, oh, well, I can do anything.
Yeah.
Like, let's just go for it. So I met a lot of people on the road who were from Nashville. I started meeting songwriters and producers and was like, okay, well, I can do this. And they were gassing me up like, yeah, you come here, you'll get whatever you want. You're Miss America. You're beautiful. You already have marketing. You got millions of people who already follow you, da-da-da-da. So this is pre-internet, really.
Yeah.
I mean, Facebook had just come out in, 02, 03?
No, it was I thought it was 04.
No, I graduated 05, so about 04.
So so I was Miss America a little too early, and there was no Instagram.
It wasn't.
There was MySpace, but obviously it died. So this was pre self-promotion via the internet. Yes. And so I went there on a wing and a prayer, and I graduated from UCF and packed my stuff in like November and moved up to Nashville and started immediately working in studios, started doing demos, started writing, doing all the stuff. And it took me, and then I did a showcase way too early because you really need to like develop your artistry, but I didn't know that. So I did a showcase in December. I moved there in October, I think, and I did a showcase in December, and it was well received. All the media was there. Everybody who was there. And one guy who was like the main man in town was like, I like her music, but we can't sell her to a 40-year-old white woman. Like, that's our demographic. We can't sell her. Yeah. He told me that from the first year I was there, and I just was like, I'm going to break that barrier down. I got plenty of 40-year-old white girlfriends. Right. They like me. And that was the message. The message was loud and clear that we can't sell you to our demographic of buyers. Like, we're selling to women who are looking at Carrie Underwood as a role model. They're looking at Miranda Lambert as, she goes hunting. Like, this is her life, like... You don't have anything in common with them.
Singer, woman?
So when during my time, there was another girl, Reese Palmer was her name. And she was out as well. And she was like, we were really butting heads. She had a big afro. She was thin and tall, lighter skin. So we looked nothing alike, which was good. At the time I had straight hair and, I'm darker. And so we had differences, but we were trying at the same time. And she had an independent deal. I had an independent deal. And none of the majors would take a chance on either one of us, even though both of our sounds were very clean. Like, her sound was super clean. My stuff was good. I was going more of a soulful route, and she was going more of the Carrie Underwood, like, pop country route. And people just didn't want it. They just didn't want it. And we would go to festivals. Like, I opened up for Jason Aldean. I opened up for all these big acts. And it just, like, people liked me.
Right.
But the record company was like, record companies are banks, right? And so they're not going to put $1 million investment in you when they don't think they can get it back.
What kept you from having an independent person do that for you?
I really think I was just before the time. So I got my own independent deal, and I formed my own joint venture with a venture capitalist who was like in New York and was like, I don't care, do whatever you need to do, just make the money back, whatever. Right. And so I did my own deal, but it just wasn't.
Yeah. There's no way of going viral without paying the radio stations to play you, really.
Yeah.
Right.
But, they did the same thing when Beyonce came out with, what's that song, Daddy Said Shoot? What's that?
Daddy Issues?
Daddy Issues, yeah.
They didn't want it.
They didn't want it. When she was performing on the CMA Awards, like, white people went off about that.
Yeah, and then she performed it with the Dixie Chicks, which was brilliant.
Epic, bitch.
Brilliant.
And
that's what happened to...
It was the highest rated, award show. There was the highest ratings for them.
CMA. Yeah, I think it was the Country Music Awards.
Yeah, it was their highest rating because everybody tuned in. And I was taught that country music is not really for black people and all this other stuff. But
the reality is that so many of us are the musicians, have been the songwriters. Yeah. So much of the material has been stolen from.
Yeah,
like
she writes country music.
Right, a lot of it is. It's a songwriter community in the first place with country music, which is why I loved it, because at the time in the 2000s, R&B wasn't really popping off of anything. Like there were no R&B women, and they weren't singing. I love Beyonce. I'm a total member of the Beehive. But Beyonce, if you like read out her lyrics, it's like, girl, what you talking about? What is it? What is this?
When I think of country music, I think of men drunk, like pissed off because she cheated on him.
Yeah, but
it's different.
It's different, right? So there's a song that I'm getting chills. There's a song that I wrote.
She really like country music.
No, it's like so deep because the lyrics are so deep. There's this one song. It's that phone call that you answered. Picked up mighty quick when I walked in the room. Oh, was it just the wrong number, or was it someone you didn't want to talk to?
Oh.
Yeah. That's, it's a conversation.
Nigga.
Right.
At the end of that, that's what came.
Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? So that's the kind of stuff that, like, I love the artistry and the lyricism of country music because it tells a story.
My favorite is that song Picture. Sheryl Crow and
yeah, that's beautiful.
I love that song.
Yeah.
I turn off
was
Rihanna.
Kid Rock?
Yes, Kid Rock. I believe it.
Okay,
I hate with Kid Rock
when it comes to that.
Because Kid Rock, though, the Beehive still attacking Kid Rock for some of his statements.
What did he say?
You ain't know when he was putting all them bees and shit on it. What did he say about Beyonce? It was something that he said.
Y'all
it
be
was
so
years
extra.
Kid
ago.
Rock's just jealous because he wish he had Beyonce.
Exactly.
He likes
you
black
wish
girls.
Had that influence. Well, yeah.
He like his child is black.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he likes black girls.
He like him. Oh, so you got a chance, Carol?
Well, we used to just hang out. Like he lived in Nashville.
Humble flex.
Yeah.
Humble
No.
flex.
I just used to go over to the crib and just kick it.
I'm over here thinking like me.
I
like
used to just drink whiskey with him. I wasn't one of his women.
Friends.
No, he was not that lucky.
I was thinking just in your head, but you know him. Humble flags. Let's go ahead and go over to our unsolicited advice. But before that, we're going to go ahead and put an ad and pay some bills here. I have to let you guys know one thing. Guess what? I'm still not pregnant. Yes, and that's a good thing. It's a celebration. That's because my birth control is working. I'm out here, living my whole best life, and I'm still not pregnant. So, ladies, if you want to sit on your couch, too, and wait for your birth control to come and not have to worry about doing anything else, Simple Health is here for you. With Simple Health, you can get your birth control prescribed online and delivered to your door for free. It's affordable, convenient, and safe. Whether you're already on birth control or looking to get back on or want to try it for the first time, Simple Health is going to take care of y'all, ladies, okay? I promise you they're going to take care of you. Just to be clear, Simple Health is not making their own birth control. They only prescribe trusted and vetted brands of birth control, including the pill, which a lot of us take, or the patch and the ring. Best of all, Simple Health offers affordable care regardless of insurance. They do accept insurance though. And luckily, birth control is actually free with most health insurance plans. So you can pay absolutely nothing. There's not even shipping that you have to pay. So for those without insurance, the pills start at just $15 a month. That's so affordable. And delivery is free for everyone, whether you have insurance or you don't have insurance. Now, the prescriptions are usually about $20, but for all of our listeners, you can try Simple Health for free. If you don't have health insurance, literally for free. Just go to simplehealth.com/Carla30 or enter Carla30 at checkout. I want to mention that this is not a replacement for a routine evaluation. I keep telling y'all got to get this cootie cat check regardless. If you're out here get played with it or not, you got to get checked out. So still go to your primary care physician, still go to your gynecologist, and if you don't have insurance, you can go to the health clinic. Still take care of yourselves, lady. We need this stuff to be working. But outside of that, you can get convenient and comfortable way to get birth control through Simple Health. Again, so don't miss your chance to get it for free. It doesn't hurt to try something for free. Go to simplehealth.com/Carla30 or again, just enter code Carla30 at checkout. Now let's get back to the show. Okay, now that we're back, let's do this unsolicited advice real quick. You ready?
Yes.
We're going to have to give them some good. This is coming off of the episode that we did. We haven't actually released it yet with Dexy about the whole abortion thing. So it says, I've only been with my now boyfriend since around March, so about 2 months. We do stay with each other literally every day, whether it's at my house or his. The whole relationship moved really fast. I had my birth control out about a month ago, or I took it out, and his fertile-ass man got me pregnant. Okay. I've never been pregnant. In fact, I thought I couldn't have kids because I've been in relationships with no contraception since I was 16 and never felt pregnant. I'm 30 now. He wants to keep it, but I don't feel ready. I have a job, a condo, and savings. He rents an apartment and is a bit less organized in life, but he makes good money and has a good job. I don't know what to do. I'm torn on keeping the child because he wants it, or should I get an abortion?
Oh, this is a good one.
Yeah. First of all, I don't tell anyone whether to get an abortion or not. That is your decision.
Yeah.
That is a very private decision that you have to make. You have to like kind of figure out what it is that you want and where you are in life, and you make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
But coming off like everything that's been going on recently with this whole abortion thing, it is your body. You choose what you want to do. I don't know if you guys saw recently some woman that had the baby and he wanted to keep the baby, and he said that he'll pay her like a monthly amount, just give him the baby, and they don't have to keep from him again.
Right.
Girl, that doesn't happen often, but you can ask him and like mess with that and say, we can write a contract that when this baby's born, you're gonna take it and you're gonna pay me this amount, and we go through the courts and have to sign and get it out your paycheck or whatever. Maybe he'll go for it if he really wants it that bad. But you are 30, you have your things together. It is your choice whether you want to keep it or not. But just maybe sit on it for a little while longer and figure out if this is what you want. If it's not what you want at all and you don't want a kid of yours just running around there or whatever, then don't have it, because it is a responsibility. You don't want to raise a child either that you don't want. And you have to see how clear he is about wanting this kid, because men be like, yeah, I want me a baby, but that's because they can go to work and do whatever they want and you're taking care of the baby 24/7.
How far along is she? Did she say?
Probably about a month.
Oh, she's good.
Yeah, a month.
This is a sticky situation, to be honest with you. I am so pro-choice. I don't really speak up on women's bodies issues. Like, that whole abortion thing was kind of awkward for me to talk about, because it's like, who the fuck am I to pass my judgment or how I feel like a woman should do about their body? But if I'm involved in making a child, it's like, should a man have some type of say so on whether or not an abortion is going to be had? Like, this is also his baby as well. Although you're carrying it, and I totally give that to you, but I do feel like it needs to be something where a man will have some type of voice or something like that, and some type of say so on whether or not his child is going to be aborted.
That's where things get like the gray lines between it, because a baby is two people's child. There is a man, there's a woman. Yes, the woman, we have to bear like the child and the big titties and the stretch marks and the milk and the hormones and feeling crazy and postpartum. We go through so much to have a child, which if you want it and you love it and you prepare for it, it's a great experience. If you don't, it's like, how do I feel about it? And I hear people like say, when I was talking about it and spoke out about it, something like, oh, well, if you want to be out here thotting, then you got to have the baby. Nigga, please.
It has nothing to do with being a thought.
Nothing, because niggas are out here thotting all the time and getting 3, 5, 10, 15 girls pregnant in the same month, but it's not a problem because they don't have to carry the child. Yeah, I feel like men should probably have some type of say so, but at the same time, it's like, are you really going to take care of this child once the child is here?
After 2 months, girl, I mean, I don't blame you. Shit,
it's only 2
it's
months.
Only 2 months.
Too.
I might think about just like, nigga, I don't know you.
You really don't.
Or anything like that.
What do you think, Ericka?
Well, for me, I just feel like you're 30. Just very much consider the fact that emotionally, spiritually, you're going to experience something in losing this. You've never been pregnant before. Like, this is a miracle baby, straight up and down. If you've never been pregnant before and you've been in relationships without contraception, like, maybe this baby needs to be here. Maybe this is going to be a retirement plan, boo. I don't know. It might be an option for you. You might want to think it out. You might want to thug it out. You might want to just go ahead and have Jesus. Like,
like talk to your family. Is your family supportive? Do you have support? Maybe once the baby's here, you'll feel different.
Yeah.
It is 2 months, but you really don't know.
And you could tell you don't know him, but you also could like. I'm so at the point, I'm 37 and a half. So I'm like,
counting the half.
Listen, just listening to this letter, my boobs are like, oh, baby? Who said baby? Like, if somebody would like to have one, I'm totally taking applications. I don't even need to know you. Because as long as I got my support system, I'm good.
Would you consider going to like a sperm bank?
I don't want to do that. I want to like have the,
Oh, you want to get down to get down.
I mean, I want to have the whole experience.
Yeah,
I want to do this the way that I want to do it that way. Right. But I also just know that, so 4 years after my divorce was over, I fell in love with a wonderful person, and 4 years ago he passed away. And so with that, just the feeling of, okay, if somebody leaves my life, I'm still going to be okay. It's going to hurt. It's going to be difficult. But as long as I have my support system of people, I can make it.
Yeah. Girl, That is a problem, and I've been following you for a long time, and I do remember when that happened, and just to see how you have bounced back from Ericka. She was in her significant other committed suicide, and is to see where she is now. I would be crushed because at that time I was dating my ex, and I just was thinking like, oh my God, if I lost him, how would I continue to carry on? So you're such a strong woman, girl.
Thank you.
You are
strong as hell. When they say black women are strong,
yes.
Strong.
Man, that was the hardest thing ever to go through, like, just knowing that you can bounce back and fall in love again, because in between my marriage and that relationship, I met someone who I wasted a good year and a half with, and it was like he was a terrible human being and he brought out the worst in me, and then I just got this amazing, peaceful, beautiful man who was everything. He was light-skinned with dreads. I'll show you pictures later, girl. But he was everything, and he was everything to me, and he made me feel like I was queen on a throne. He never talked down to me. He always encouraged me. He always made me feel special. He wasn't even sarcastic to me. Like, he was on a whole different angelic vibe. Yeah. And now I know that because of just the way that things have played out. But I just feel like, you can make it. You can make it without the guy. Mm-hmm. Don't tear, this is back to the young lady. Yes. Don't tear yourself apart from what could be a blessing. If it's going to be a stress, then, do what you got to do. But if it could be a blessing to you, go through with it, because I feel like you can get through that storm, and it might be the biggest blessing that ever happened to you.
One of my friends, my close friends, the realtor in I'm not gonna say her name, the realtor in Jacksonville, she went to school with Jay. She was only in a relationship with her. I mean, they were just like really messing around, and she got pregnant by him, and then she ended up keeping the child. And it was the biggest blessing in her life. She's a lesbian now.
Baby foul. It's that damn baby foul.
She's a lesbian now, but she was like, this, I think God actually put him in my life for this reason, because he is an amazing father. Yeah. I could not have although we're not together and we didn't say that he's not perfect, he's not good for me, but he's good to my daughter.
You never know why certain people are placed in your life. Like for you, that he was probably placed in your life for a certain reason, to bring you out of something or to put you in a certain position. For her, maybe it's only been 2 months. Maybe he was placed in your life for this.
Yeah.
A reason, a season, or a lifetime. Like people are not always here for the lifetime haul. And that's
good
okay.
That he wants the child.
Yeah.
Some men were like, okay, yeah, bitch, I'll pay for it. Like, if you want to go down, I would
drive
you to the clinic. But he actually wants to be a father, which is dope. It's a great quality.
Yeah, but then there's some men out here who be like, oh, yeah, I want to be the daddy. And it's like, I want a baby, but they just want to play with the baby.
Yeah.
To take pictures for Instagram. And I am not about to stay here and have a whole baby for 9 months for you to take Instagram pictures. You got me all the way fucked up.
Yes.
Agreed. And maybe you could tell him that you can keep this baby if he pays for a mommy makeover afterwards, girl. Get you something out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all keep trying to monetize these fucking babies.
Shut up.
Hey,
we gotta do what we gotta do.
Big Birkin bag.
Listen, when it comes to kids are great once they get older. Like now I have my teenager, and she cooks for me. She turns on the lights. She gets me the remote. Mm-hmm.
So you have your own best friend. Like to me, I'm like my mom's best friend.
Right.
And that's a little frustrating sometimes. It's like, girl,
get you a friend.
Call somebody else.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she's my best friend. Really, like when I have stuff that nobody else care about, my mom always cares. Mm-hmm. She just does. And it's like I can call her about literally everything, and she can just be sitting on the phone. We're not even talking. I'm just driving. She's just, why are you still on the phone? Bye.
I can't wait to actually want to hear what the hell Ayana wants to talk about, because right now I ignore her. She's like, Mom, you're never paying attention to me. I'm like, what'd you say now?
Oh my gosh, when she's like 30, you guys are going to have so much fun.
I can't wait, but right now, 13.
Y'all have fun now, bitch.
Oh, we have so much fun now.
Y'all do, yeah.
No, we really do. Like my friend was telling
me,
she has a daughter the same age, and we're going to come to the beach this weekend. She's like, oh, actually, I'm not going because she doesn't want to go. Some new Netflix thing came out. Ayana could care less. She'll be like, all right, I'll see you later. Mm-hmm. Where can I go with you? Yeah. Can I go to your recordings? Can I go out with you? Can I have drinks? You have drinks? I'll get a Shirley Temple.
I'll take your picture, Mommy. Yeah,
yes, I'll take a picture.
Yes.
And now it's cool, but then she was just talks a lot. And I'm just like, shut up. Like, leave me alone. Like, you're annoying me.
She's a 13-year-old girl.
Right. It's like this whole teenage thing, but I can't wait for her to get older and actually have issues that I probably care more about. Because right now I really don't care about Hector and his little ugly self in school. Like, the friends talk about nothing. I just be like, what? It's the same thing every week, and you act like it's different. Yeah.
So we're going to go to our next segment.
This is called Shit Talk. Okay, this week I'm gonna do this one. I went to the beach, and usually when you're at the beach, like you get in the water, but the water was really nasty. There's a bunch of algae. So even though cocoa water is not like clear water or whatever, I saw that Miami was the same way. It was like full of algae. So most people weren't getting in the water. But climate change is real. So it's been like colder in areas. It stayed colder longer. The heat wasn't coming. So the heat is here. Y'all asked for this heat. Y'all wanted the summer. Y'all wanted to be summertime fine. Walk around in thongs, be at the beach, be in this heat. Put some fucking deodorant on.
Bitch,
Yo,
you're
the must that I've been smelling lately. I was at the beach. It's breezy, you know, it's going on, and there's a breeze of a few people hitting me, and I'm just like, come on, it's packed. I was having a great time, but a few times the whiff hit me, and I'm like, you have to wear extra deodorant. Wintertime, when it's colder, you can get away with taking one bath a day, like maybe in the morning or the night before. Now that it's so hot, you can't bathe at night and not bathe in the morning. Bitch, you was sweating because it's hot and the AC doesn't work as good as it did in the wintertime. Just take at least 2 baths. You know, smell yourself, put deodorant on, put, spray on. Do your clothes, they get that outside smell in the summertime. Change your clothes. I don't want to smell your coin smelling self. These fucking children in middle school, I talk
like
about
outside.
they stink ass all the time. I can't wait for the school to be over tomorrow, bitch. Because my daughter gets in this car. And when I send her home in the Uber, I know I have to tip the Uber driver when they bring her home because I know she stinks. And I know she's thinking of the whole car. And I'm like,
straight like a playground.
I ask her, I'm like, Ayana, do they put the windows down? Because you stink. But I know that it's hot. They smell like outside, and you just have to wear extra. And she takes her stuff to school. But yeah, y'all, you asked for the summertime. You want to be, out here thotting and bopping, and it's cool. Just please take care of your BO. Y'all smell like shit, and
you
it's
know
pissing
what?
me off.
I'm gonna go this far. I don't think a lot of people actually know how to, and I know this sounds crazy, but I teach etiquette. So back to what I do now.
See, you would. You would teach somebody how to do etiquette.
A part of etiquette is your personal hygiene, and a lot of people just have no clue that your sweat glands they overproduce for reasons and for biological reasons. But you have to manage those, and you have to know yourself. Okay, being self-aware is highly important.
Yes.
If you have white that collects around the size of your
Girl.
mouth, if you got too thick of saliva, you need to drink more water.
The boy that tried to touch my titty this weekend. And then my friend told me he was dehydrated. Bitch, a lot of people did. I was thirsty too, but you don't see no white shit on my mouth.
I'm so done. Be aware of yourself. Like, pay attention to yourself. Pay attention to the smells that occur. If you smell like Brunswick stew and a little bit of curry, you might need to go and take more often showers. You probably need to wash with baking soda because that helps to get the stink out of
the shower.
Yeah, I have baking soda in my shower because it's good for anywhere that you have hair.
It absorbs the odor.
Okay.
From
It does.
Do white men smell funny?
Girl, what the fuck, girl? What the fuck?
I think white people smell funny.
White people do. White people do. Now, we've had that whole conversation. Yeah, they do. I told you.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't they smell
My
funny?
penis has gone soft because I thought this guy was Spanish, but he was actually white.
I think it's true.
But it is.
They don't. The ones that I usually have interacted with are hairless and
No, but it's like a little
smell like Dove soap.
Like a body odor. It might not necessarily like onions or anything like that.
Not even like pork, but it's a mixture of onions and pork. And it ain't the good shit that you. It smell like boiled onions and pork or some shit like.
Or like old, a couple days too
the
old,
sauteed
past the
onions, girl.
expiration date.
Like hot dog
And
water.
It's
Right, bitch, that's what
yes,
it is.
hot dog water.
Oh my
We
God.
knew you knew about it.
That's exactly what it is.
It's hot dog water. You're right. Especially when you put it in the microwave and the shit come out real
I'm
fast.
not doing this. I'm not. Just
It
a
is hot dog.
disclaimer. I just was qualifying what it smelled like. I'm not saying that white people smell like
But
that.
you described it. She was able to give it to us.
All right, well, go ahead.
Thank
You
you.
got a shit talk for him?
So my shit talk is more, it's a little bit of both. So it's this popular club, or sports bar in DC called Nelly's. It's equivalent to
you
our
came
Ember
back to
here.
talk about shit about DC?
Okay. Oh, I have a lot of shit to talk about DC, but I'm just gonna choose this particular one. All right. So it's a sports bar called Nelly's, which is equivalent to our Ember, and basically they're white owned and everything. And doing Black Gay Pride, it's thousands of Black gay men that come, and we put so much money into these venues and these bars and these promoters, party after party after party. So this year, the Black gays decided to boycott Nelly's, and the reason is because Nelly's last year posted a flag saying that Blue Lives Matter. Okay. So, black people see Blue Lives Matter as a anti to the Black Lives Matter movement, especially with the, the police actually killing our young black men.
Which is really, the Blue Lives Matter is ignorance. I
It is
really think
ignorance.
it's ignorance. They don't understand there's a cause because there's a problem. There's no problem with the blue lives at the moment.
Right.
But go
So it was great for me. Like me and my friends after brunch, what we do is, we go downtown and everything like that, and we go bar hopping. So it's a club right next to Nelly's. It's called Princeton's. When I tell you the line was wrapped around the motherfucking corner and it was no one going to Nelly's at all.
Really?
And the only reason why, so I ended up having to go because my friends.
You went to Nelly's?
I ended up
Yo
having
ass
and
boy.
although
Light-skin privilege.
listen, bitch. Although I was fighting tooth and nail with these motherfuckers, they did not want to stand in the line and everything like that. I did not go spend my money or anything like that. Carlos bought me drinks the entire time, and I was ready to go. I was so upset. But I am so proud because this is the same thing I try to teach my black, gay, LGBT brothers and sisters here. Like, listen, let's start supporting things that support us. Mm-hmm. We need to stop going and putting our hard-earned black dollars into these venues that don't give a fuck about you at all. They just care about your money at that particular point in time, but they're not going to cater to you. For example, Nelly's does not play any hip-hop whatsoever. I mean, wall to wall.
So why do people go?
Why, if it was it's just a gay bar. Same why people go to Ember and go to Parliament House. Because Parliament House on Tuesday, not on Tuesday, on Sunday, they open up the entire compound, but they put us in this small ass room.
Oh, the one over there in the back by the bathroom?
Yes, that stink as fuck. But black people still go because they have nowhere else to go. There's no black owned venues. But my hats is off to the black gays in DC that really took a stand. They went on Twitter and tweeted out to everybody like, listen, you guys are going to come down here, you're going to spend your money, support a venue that actually is going to support you. So hats off to you guys. DC inspires me in so many different ways, and I just try to use what I learned and the confidence that I gained from there and just try to bring it back here because a lot of our gays can't afford to pick up and move and experience. And
maybe he'll do another gay party in the summertime while I'm gone. Keep you busy over here.
We'll see, girl. We'll see. We'll see.
Did you a black party, a black gay ass party in Orlando?
And it won't be. And listen, it won't be a gay party because I'm just not a gay individual.
Right. I still think you should do a gay party. Why? Because you're not catered to you.
Huh?
I feel like there's no Oh, you saying there's not enough black gays here?
I don't think as far as when it comes to support and stuff like it's hard for us to do things. Dale did his thing, and girl, no one will come and support not consistently. And then
they would talk about, oh, I should have and could have, and then they don't show up or they were going to. It's just flaky.
It is flaky, and it's like you spend all this time, energy, and money into this.
It's like they want to see somebody famous coming out or for it to be popping, and then they want to go and it's like,
girl, I
right, even
then, Madison, bitch, and they still didn't come out.
Right.
And she was hot at that time, so it's just like, and I did it during gay days because gay days is just a white. I told you, it's a white pool party, circuit party thing. It's catered towards white people. They don't.
And even
really
during gay days, they weren't coming out.
So and then it's like, let me do something for gay days, like to give you guys something opposite. And no, it really was. Support is kind of hard here. But again, I'm not going to get into that. I'm just my shit talk is to say, guys, thank you for actually showing and leading an example. Ericka, you got something you want to get off your chest?
Are we wearing Gucci yet?
Girl, come on. I saw so much motherfucking Gucci this motherfucking weekend. Bitch, you motherfucking...
Me too at the beach. These bitches was out there with their Gucci flip-flops.
Are we wearing Gucci again? Okay, so we're back.
Honestly, if you spend the money for it, to me, I'm like, it's not hurting them for us to boycott them. We are not their market.
Well, we are, but not consistently enough. Not enough.
They're not paying the light bill.
No, we're not.
And a lot of these people are getting it. They're getting it gifted by somebody else. These celebrities, they're getting gifted Gucci from someone else. Someone will go
Gucci.
We're being bamboozled by all these celebrities wearing Gucci and Louis Vuitton. All this. They don't pay for that shit. Yeah, the label paid for it for them to look good.
In their music, they do go talking about I spent the check at the Gucci store or some shit like that, and it's the most ignorant fucking shit.
Yeah. It is because there's houses that need to be purchased in black neighborhoods all over the country, and let us talk about the fact that gentrification is real. That's what I want to get off my chest. I want to get off the chest that I live on Martin Luther King Drive. I'm good on every MLK Boulevard, and I just want everybody to know that there are black communities that are suffering and that are dying out because the elderly live there and they are passing on. And so we have to be
selling the houses for dirt cheap
on the lake Sorry, that was loud.
Yes.
But I just had to get that out.
No, you have
Dirt
to say
cheap
it.
on the lake, and I'm looking at these black communities that were the land that was given to the black people as like, we don't even want to deal with that swampy lake over there anyway.
And now it's beautiful.
And now it is it's the easiest way to get to the interstate. It's the easiest way to get to downtown and to live in a peaceful environment without having the hustle and bustle of downtown and not having anywhere to park. Yes. You know, like our neighborhoods, inner city neighborhoods. That's why it's called inner city. The inner part of not the suburbs, not Lake Mary, not Windermere, not everywhere else. Those neighborhoods are dying. So the checks that you're spending at Gucci, that's cute. But did you buy your grandma's house?
Hello.
It might only be 1,700 square.
Right, because most likely grandma
it might
only
be 1,700 square feet, but that's 1,700 squares that you can have as your own stake in a legacy, and you can continue.
That, I just told him I posted I'm leaving for 3 months, so I said I'm gonna put my house on Airbnb.
Yeah,
like let me make some money while I'm gone because I need the money. I don't know where my checks are gonna come from once I get to New York. You know, I'm taking this huge leap. I posted this shit yesterday.
Yes.
It is more than halfway booked today
Let me
when
tell
I woke
you.
up.
Yes.
I said, did I price this shit right? I must have priced this shit wrong.
If you live in the right part of town, if you live over in Richmond Heights, let me just school the Orlando people the game. If you live in Richmond Heights and you can afford to be anywhere else and you can Airbnb your house, people are right down the street from Universal. People are right down the street from Holy Land. They're right down the street. And they will pay. They will pay. These Brazilians will pay to stay in your house. They'll pay $800 a week. They'll pay $1,000 a week. Right. They don't know any different.
That particular, and give you guys some real estate. Like, that is so cheap to buy a house in Richmond Heights. A couple years ago, I was selling houses in Richmond Heights for $30,000, $40,000. The property value still has not gotten. It's like now you get it for $70,000, $80,000. Right. It's still cheap, and the location. It's 5 minutes from where I live.
Absolutely.
Windermere is right up the street.
And let me tell you something. People are sleeping good every night. Yes. There's no crime. There's very little crime as opposed to what may have happened in the 90s and late 80s when the drug trade was really popping. But people don't have money like that, so we ain't buying drugs like that. And most people are just buying weed. Yeah. So at the end of the day, the crime rates are different in those neighborhoods. And so we have to consider these are great. Like, my house is a good house. It's 60 years old. I reconstructed and renovated it, and it's the bomb.
Right.
I'll have you guys over for tea one day.
Please.
Yeah. This bitch said, "See, can you give me a whiskey? I need me a whiskey, Ericka. I'll bring it."
So, and I'm so happy you brought up Richmond Heights. I had a friend that came to me, and she was talking about investing and stuff like that. I was like, listen, invest back into the black community.
Absolutely.
Richmond Heights is the place to go. And, I mean, you don't know where you want to put your money at, but this is where you should put it at, especially the growth potential.
You do the gem drops. Yes. We did the gentrification episode, which was amazing. Yeah. So we did the drug episode, which, like, really right now who's going to jail is white women with opioids. So it's not even like the crack epidemic anymore, and now it's like heroin and opioids. Yeah. Whatever. All the white people shit stuff.
Child, the white people sued the opioid company and stuff like that in Wisconsin. Wisconsin sued them, bitch, and got a $98 million estate. But who the fuck did we gonna sue for?
Ronald Reagan.
Or all this other stuff.
Oh, bitch ass.
Yeah, all of them did.
So we, like, if you guys haven't heard go back to find our gentrification episode, find the drugs episode that came out with James Smith. There's all these things to, like, in a fun way, educate you and know that, don't give up your family's legacy that they left behind. Our parents worked hard for that fucking land. And 20, 30, 40,000, if a white person want it, it's for a reason. If they're buying it from you in the hood, you're like, this shit in the hood, but there's a whole crack buying it. Right. I said I was going to stop saying that. It's for a reason. They're looking at something. And if
there's value in it.
You're thinking, I got to wait 5 years. Put it to rent. You're not spending a dime.
We have to reevaluate our values because it feels like people don't know what is valuable because they can't see. They don't have vision, and so it's really different.
We don't value ourselves.
Frustrating, right? When we don't have the vision to see that, man, if I just put another coat of paint, if I put another roof on that, put some new floors, this is about to be the bomb. Like,
and probably if you call the insurance company, they'll give you a new roof.
Just saying, like, there's ways around all of these systems that are in place, and the reason why the hood is because people neglected it.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So if we invest in it and stop neglecting it, then it can actually be something again, and then we can have epicenters of black wealth again. If people would stop trying to be so high class and live in Winter Park, because high class used to be relegated to one certain area of town that the blacks could live on the other side of Division Street. So let's not get it twisted that, every part of whatever black Orlando or the black community occupies, that is for us to still be able to intermingle and to occupy. We should have our own malls. We should have our own brands. We should have our own, and our soul food restaurants need to be clean.
They do.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that just need to happen that have not happened for some reason. Like, we don't have a demand for it.
Yeah, Killer Mike says, I think what he said, desegregation has been one of the most harmful things to the black community.
Absolutely.
Because we kept our dollar in our black community, and we had some prestigious neighborhoods. DC, for example, it was known as Chocolate City. You go to live in DC, not on the outskirts. It's so fucking expensive. It's so gentrified, and you walk through I don't even recognize DC anymore in the past 5 years compared to what it was, just how much gentrification has really grown. And I know it goes back further than that. So, listen, you guys, like Ericka said, we have wealth, we have value that our parents have left down, our grandparents have left down to us. Let's take more pride in ourselves. Let's stop putting our money into these motherfucking white people pockets that don't give a fuck about you.
Stop living in apartments if you can, only because it literally is just draining you. And if you live in one of the nice apartments, it's $1,700 a month. Like, get out of here. There's no luxury in half of these places. There's no luxury. The pool is luxurious, and you don't even know how to swim.
And don't use it.
You don't
even get in the water.
You don't get in the water. You go to just go and barbecue. Like, think about it. I used to live in 55 West when I moved back to Orlando.
God, that's like,
what a dump, right?
Yes.
But I lived there, and because when I first moved back in 2010, it was still hot.
Yeah.
What a waste of all that money that I could have put into something else. Yeah. And, just really think it out. I think people need to just be a lot smarter instead of working.
And I think we're smart. I think we're starting to learn. We're starting to do research. We're starting to listen. And coming from other people that look like you now, I think it's a little bit easier to pay attention and say, oh, maybe you can do it. I love what DJ Envy's doing with the whole real estate thing. So I love what you're doing with your real estate thing. Just keep going out there and teaching us, because we really don't know. It's
really don't know.
It's just an area. It's a business that we don't know of, because one, we weren't allowed to do it, and then now it's like, oh, here you can do it, but we're doing it the wrong way, or they're teaching us the wrong way. So let's do that. Anyways, to wrap up here really quick, I wanted to go ahead and read one of our listeners. We have another review, and I really love to look at the reviews on iTunes.
You do. I love it that you do.
Yeah, so you guys are all. I saw someone from the other day, and I the names are so hard sometimes. I don't know if it's K Renee or K Renee. Maybe K Renee, something like that.
We're going to go with that.
Yeah, so it says, bomb as fuck. I just started listening to your podcast last week, and I'm in love. Great content. And I wanted to tell you, well, thank you for taking the time to leave a review. It doesn't matter what Apple products you have. If you go on iTunes and you just rate, review, and leave a comment, it helps us so much when it comes to iTunes and our visibility and other people seeing us, and you sharing the podcast as well when you guys write on social media, like your favorite part, or you put it on your stories and you share it. I love to reshare those, because I forget what we be talking about.
I do, too. And
I don't listen back. Tony listens back, but I don't listen to back because my voice annoys me. I don't know how y'all listen to me for a whole hour and some change. But I annoy myself, so I don't know what's going on. So what you guys?
Good shit. This is one of my favorite podcasts, though. Not that I'm on it. Like, just going back and listening to it, the things that we talk about, it's like, dude, it's some gems that are being
substance.
dropped.
Right.
So, yes.
So if you guys are listening, thank you so much for leaving a review. If you don't know how to do it, if you go to any of our Instagrams or the websites, it'll give you a link and be like, where you can go. So leave a review on iTunes. And if not, we are on everywhere else: Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube, anywhere you want to go.
Yes.
So
I love to hear y'all feedback too, and everything. Carla and I have opposite opinions sometimes, which is great. But I love to hear.
I love the aspect that we have different opinions and stuff.
I love it too.
And then you'll see the ones like, I agree with Tony. I don't care.
She's like, fuck you. I said what I said.
I said what I said, and I got other people that agree with me. Okay. But Ericka, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you.
I am so happy.
And I'm so happy you done walked in with this afro, girl, because I'm living for it.
You were so perfect for this. She was talking about colorism. We asked a couple other people, but then you popped it in mind. I was like, bitch, this.
I said, she gonna come. She gonna come to this shitty little podcast.
It's so funny because I'm telling you, the power of manifestation is very real. Because literally, I just saw you a couple weeks ago, maybe even, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. That's a really great idea. Like, I should have thought of something like that. But these millennials, you guys think of everything. So then I get the very. I mean, it was like out the blue for real.
It was out the blue. Yes.
And I was like, see, that's what I be doing. I just be looking at stuff on Instagram, and I'm like, oh, I want to do that, and then it happens.
It comes out. That's why
it was a blessing to me
now when I leave. I cried on the way to Cook. I don't know if I told you. What? I've been a little pussy. I got scared about this whole move.
Wow.
And it's not a move. I'm coming back. I don't know, leaving my comfort zone.
Yeah.
I'm leaving my comfort. Like I was like, if I
At least you're doing it in the summer.
you ain't gonna catch me over there in the winter time. You're not gonna unless they got. I have to get like an amazing offer opportunity for me to say I'm gonna be here in the winter time because I hate the cold. I'm a summer girl. I'm an island girl.
Totally understand.
So,
well, we wish you luck, and I'm just gonna say thank you very much for this forum because I think it's really smart that young people are coming together, speaking about things that are important, and doing it in a way that's easy for people to receive.
Yeah.
You know, it's really difficult when people are talking over your head, and you guys are just you're talking where people can like take it in, feel comfortable, get the information, get the message. So thank you for doing what you do, and good luck. You're gonna be great.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, Fran, are you doing the other one?
Doing the other way.
You tired?
No. We can sit here and do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carla
Alright,
has been whipping my ass doing all these motherfucking podcasts because this motherfucker's about to move to New York. So she's been between this and real estate and me trying to have some type of social life. Bitch, I am tired. I'm working on 45 minutes of sleep.
You'll be all right.
But I'm here. I'm a hustler.
We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.